Hello everyone, my name is John Mark, and for this video, I will teach you how to use Excel. So the purpose of this video is to give you skills to accomplish common Excel tasks. I will explain and demonstrate the step-by-step way on how to do it. Okay, let's get started and I hope we can learn together. So when we talk about Excel, let's have a little introduction about Excel. So Excel is one of the most widely used Microsoft tools for recording, organizing, and analyzing information. So if you want to collect, organize, and make sense of something, you can use Excel to do it. So that is what I'm going to show you in this video. So here we are in the Excel. So I will use this as an example in our video. So in the Excel, you will see this workbook. So when we say workbook, this is the full Excel file where you will store all your work. So it has at least one worksheet that is commonly called a sheet. So when we say sheet, it is the main workspace in Excel, taking most of the central display area where you enter and organize information. So that is the use of sheet. So if you're looking for the name of the sheet, it is displayed at the bottom where you will see this small tab, this one, the work one, and then the sheet 2. And then so here in the this small tab right here, you can create a new sheet in the workbook by clicking the add icon. So as you can see, when I click the add icon, new sheet is immediately created. So there. Just remember, in add icon, you can create as many sheets as you want by simply clicking it. Okay, so here in this small tab, if you want to change the display names, you can simply change it by double clicking the name. There. Then you can type any name you want for your sheet. So here in Excel, when you open an Excel, the first thing you will notice is the vertical and the horizontal grid lines. So these grid lines form columns and rows. As you can see, each column is labeled with a letter. We can see column A, column B, column C, and so on. Also, you will notice each row is labeled with a number like 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. So as these columns and rows intersect each other, they form many small boxes. These small boxes that you will see in Excel, we call them cells. Each cell that you will see here get its name from the intersecting column and row. Another important term to remember here is range. A range of cells is a group of cells, whether if it's just 2 cells, an entire row, an entire column, or any group of cells. A range of cells is represented by the first and the last cells that is separated by a column. So I will show an example on what I'm trying to say. So for example, in this type of range, so you will see here, the first cell is the topmost cell, which is C2, because it is on the letter C column and it is on the number 2 row. And then you will see here is the last cell is the one at the very bottom, which is C8, because it is on the letter C column and it is on the number 8. That's why it's called C8. So here in this example, if we're going to have the name or reference of this entire range, including all cells in between, it is C2 colon C8. Okay, so next, if it is a horizontal range like this one, for example, so you will see here the first cell here is the leftmost cell, which is C2. Why? Again, it is C2 because it is on the column C and it is on the number 2 row. That's why it's C2. And then we have the last cell is F2. It is F2 because it is on the column F, letter F, and it is on the number 2 row. There. So again, if we're going to have the name or reference of this range, including the entire cells in between of C2 and F2, it's going to be C2 colon F2. So that is the horizontal range. Okay, so just remember that when we say range, it is a group of cells. Whether if it's just two cells, an entire row, an entire column, anything, any group of cells, we call them range. Okay, so when working with cells, ranges, columns, and rows, you often need to select them first. So what is selecting? Selecting is a part of a worksheet, means that you're preparing that part for action. Whether that part is a single cell or range of cells, an entire row, an entire column, any range of cells. So you're going to be selecting them. Okay, so I will show you what type of actions or work you do after selecting them. To select a single cell, all you have to do is just click on the cell. So Excel shows you a visible bold border around the cell. So this visible bold border around the cell is to confirm that the cell is now selected. To select an entire column, click on the header of the column. As you can see, the column is now highlighted, showing that it is now selected. Next, if you're going to select multiple columns, first you click and hold on the first column, then drag your mouse over the last column you want to select. So as you can see here, the columns are now highlighted. It shows that they are selected. Similarly, you can select an entire row by clicking on the row header here on the left. Dragging it down or up, select multiple rows. Next is select any range of cells. For example, B3 to D10. Okay, so the first thing you will do is click on the first cell, which is the B3, and then drag your mouse to the last cell, which is D10. Sometimes, though it's rare, you may need to select multiple separate ranges of cells at the same time, like these two areas, for example. Okay, so To select both ranges, first thing you will do is to select the first range normally. Then press the Control key on your keyboard so that you can select the other range. So there you go. Now, let's talk about above the worksheet. Immediately above the worksheet, you find the name box on the left. Next is the formula bar, taking most of the horizontal space. The name box tells you which cell in the worksheet is currently selected, like this one, D4, because it is on the column letter D and it is on the number 4 row. While the formula bar shows you what is inside of that cell. For example, if I make the selected cell hold something, like this number 100 right here, the formula now shows that 100. If I make the selected cell empty again, the formula bar will be empty also. So it works vice versa. For example, if you enter anything in the formula bar, like any numbers or letters, the same thing will be entered in the selected cell. And then also, if you delete it, delete it in the formula bar, it is deleted also from the selected cell. So remember that the formula bar shows you what is inside of the selected cell. The formula bar has another important purpose. Now, let's see and use the ribbon. Of the worksheet. Think of the ribbon as your toolbox. It is organized in different containers called tabs. So these tabs are what you see at the top of the ribbon. Clicking on a tab opens it and displays the tools contained in a tab. Let's now add some data in the worksheet to utilize the most common tools in a ribbon. So, how do we enter data into Excel? The primary and common method of entering data in Excel is simply typing directly inside cells. To type inside cells, first is click on a cell to select it. Use the arrow key on your keyboard to navigate the cell you want to type in. Then start typing any words, anything. After you're done typing on a cell, you can leave by simply clicking a different cell. Then, if you want to edit or change what is inside a cell without deleting everything, double-click the cell. Now, we put the cell in edit mode. Then you can modify or edit whatever you want. Next, to easily delete everything inside the cell, click on it just once. Then press the delete button on your keyboard. So you may be also asking, why is Excel worksheet split into columns, rows, and cells? Because the primary purpose of Excel is to organize information in a tabular format. When we tabular format, it means it is a list of things in rows and columns. You can display anything in a tabular format. For example, you can display your family members or friends or a list of employees and their salaries and so on in a tabular format. Like this example, like this what we have here in our Excel right now. So that is the main purpose of the Excel. Why it has why Excel worksheet split into columns, rows, and cells. That is the primary purpose of it. Now, when you want to delete a column, you can simply do that by selecting a column, then right-click, click the delete option. The column is now gone. Now, let's try to undo that. So there is a way to undo that. First, it's either you can press Ctrl Z on your keyboard, or for simpler way, you can click the undo button. So now, instead of deleting this column, if you want to just hide it, there is a way to do it. First, select the column by clicking on top, right click, click hide, there you go. Next, if you want to unhide, select the adjacent columns, right click and click unhide. So in the same way, you can insert new rows, hide or unhide, or delete the rows. To improve the format, if you wish to do so, you can change the rows in the ribbon. So in the ribbon, you can change the size, color. You can change the size, the color, or other styles of the data. The tools are very simple to use. When you, as you can see here, in the ribbon, when you point to any tool, a tooltip box appears. So the purpose of that is to tell you what the tool is and what it does for more information about it. Another common task in Excel is you will frequently need to quickly find a piece of data, especially when you have a bigger and wider data than what we have here. For example, here, you want to find the name of a employee listed here. To do that quickly, press Ctrl F on your keyboard, or in simpler way, go to the ribbon and look for Find and select. Click Find. In the dialog box that open, type the word you're looking for. Click Find Next. There you go. That will find the cell and select it. Next one, if you want to replace it, click Replace option, especially to replace the same piece of data in many places with just one click. So the most common and practically the most useful formatting style is the top one here. You have a lot of options to choose from. For our example, let's choose the greater than option. In the dialog box that opens, type 90,000. You pick different styles or choose a custom format. After you choose, click OK. Now, as you can see, all cells with more than 90,000 are highlighted for you. Now, if you want to remove the conditional formatting, select the cells. Click Conditional Formatting button. Click Clear Rules. Click Clear Rules for selected cells. There you go. It clears the conditional formatting applied.